Welcome to Wisdom Uploaded. Today, we're going to skip the usual pitch. Instead, we're diving into something that, honestly, keeps a lot of business owners up at night. We're talking about the digital marketing agency nightmare. You know the one.
Oh, yeah. The agency that promises you the moon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, maybe 6 months down the line, you're looking around thinking, wait, where are the results? You've just got a lighter wallet and maybe some confusing report you can't make sense of?
It's probably the most common story we hear, unfortunately. A business owner hires an agency. They're looking for growth, for expertise,
Right.
but they end up feeling burned, frustrated, and, frankly, pretty skeptical about the whole industry.
Which is a shame because the right agency, that can be a game changer.
Absolutely. A high-quality agency, it's arguably one of the most powerful growth engines you can get. It can scale revenue, it frees up your time, gives you market insights.
But the flip side is harsh. The wrong partner isn't just, a waste of money. It's a real strategic setback. It can cost you months, maybe even a year of advantage while your competitors pull ahead.
Precisely. So our mission today, really, is to arm you. Give you the knowledge to spot those landmines, those red flags, before you sign anything.
We're unpacking the 10 critical mistakes that we see just wrecking client-agency relationships over and over.
We want you to go into that next agency conversation feeling confident, like an investor making a strategic decision, not just, a hopeful customer crossing their fingers.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting right at the beginning, which feels right. Mistake number 1. Not clearly defining what you actually need.
Yeah.
People think, I just need more sales, but it's vague, isn't it? How does that lead to hiring the wrong person?
Well, the problem with just more sales is it's an outcome, right? It's not a specific task or deliverable.
Okay.
So when you go to an agency with something that broad, you're basically asking them to figure out the problem, suggest the cure, and perform the surgery, all while you pay the bill. You kind of lose control. This is where that heart surgeon versus dentist analogy really clicks. Both are skilled medical pros, right?
Right. Highly skilled.
But if you need quick cash flow, like right now, maybe you need a Google Ads specialist. That's like needing a quick tooth extraction. It solves an immediate problem fast.
Okay, so the dentist for the immediate pain point.
Exactly. But if you just say, fix my health, the heart surgeon might suggest this huge, complex, expensive operation.
Maybe all you needed was a filling. I get it now.
Precisely. So if your main goal is that quick revenue boost, hiring, say, a fantastic SEO agency, well, they're great, but you're knowingly signing up for 6, maybe 12 months of waiting for results.
Which might be too late for the business need at that moment.
Could be. You've hired the wrong specialist for the timeline you needed. So, the fix. You got to shift from those vague outcomes to specific measurable targets.
So not more leads, something tangible.
Yes. Think more like this. Okay, we need 30 qualified B2B leads every month. They need to come from LinkedIn ads. We need this within the next 90 days. And the cost per lead needs to stay below $150. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's specific.
It gives the agency a clear target, a non-negotiable metric, a time frame. And then you can actually vet them properly. Do they have a track record hitting that kind of target? Not just generic, we get results testimonials.
That clarity, that definition, it leads perfectly into mistake number 5, which is the agency that just wants to skip the whole strategy conversation.
Oh, the let's jump right into tactics approach, yeah.
So if I do know what I need, how do I make sure they don't just, want to start running ads tomorrow?
Honestly, a really good strategic agency, they should almost be a little bit annoying with their questions in that discovery phase.
Annoying. How so?
Well, they should just be asking for your Google Analytics login. They need to be asking about your profit margins. What's the actual lifetime value of your customers? Where are the bottlenecks in your sales process right now? What keeps you up at night about the business?
Okay. They're digging deeper than just marketing metrics.
They have to. They're trying to build a marketing plan based on your specific business economics, not just some generic template or best practice that might not fit at all.
So if I'm on a sales call with an agency, and mostly they're just showing me like the 5 types of ads they plan to run next week, that's a red flag.
Huge red flag.
Yeah.
That tells you they see themselves as an ad buyer, maybe a media buyer, but not a strategic partner.
Just execution.
Exactly. They're focused on volume, on doing stuff, rather than ensuring it's the right stuff. If you sell highly specialized B2B software and they're pitching the exact same funnel they use for an e-commerce store selling, like, handmade jewelry,
Right.
that's a problem.
Because the audiences, the sales cycles, the motivations, they're completely different.
Totally different. Real marketing,
Mm-hmm.
the kind that works long-term, it always starts with a deep kind of nuanced understanding of your business model, its unique challenges, and what makes you valuable.
That makes sense. So we've established we need clarity on goals and we need an agency willing to talk strategy first. Okay, now let's shift to actually picking one. Let's talk about that big temptation. Mistake number 2, choosing an agency just based on price. The cheapest, quote, wins.
The classic false economy.
Mm.
It feels like saving money, but it rarely is. Look, cheap agencies are usually cheap for a reason, right?
Like what?
Well, often it's high staff turnover, maybe the team is just inexperienced, or sometimes, and this is sneaky, they automate the discovery process, which means they're using your ad budget to figure out your business model on the fly.
So you're basically paying them to learn with your money.
You got it. You're not saving money. You're paying this hidden consulting fee while they get educated. And the real cost, the hidden cost, is opportunity cost.
How so?
While you're paying, say, $800 a month for these cookie-cutter campaigns that aren't really moving the needle, your competitor, who may be invested properly in a $4,000 a month agency with experienced pros, they're scaling fast.
Right. You're stuck. They're growing.
Exactly. You have to flip your mindset.
Right.
It's not about finding the lowest cost. It's about finding the highest potential ROI. We always tell clients, look, an agency charging $4,000 a month, if they reliably generate $40,000 in new, trackable, profitable revenue, that's an incredible bargain.
Yeah, the math works.
But that $500 a month agency that delivers nothing, and you have to fire them in 6 months and start all over again, that was the expensive mistake. The only number that really matters at the end of the day is the net return.
Which leads us right into the vetting process itself. Mistake number 3. Not critically evaluating their track record, falling for those flashy but maybe misleading case studies.
Case studies are marketing tools, right? They're designed to impress.
Yeah.
But often they conveniently leave out crucial context.
Like what kind of context?
Okay, so you see a headline, 200% revenue increase. Sounds amazing, yeah.
Sounds great.
But your first question has to be, okay, 200% increase from what starting point? If they took revenue from $1,000 a month to $3,000 a month, well, technically that is a 200% increase.
Okay.
But what if they spent $5,000 of your ad money to get that extra $2,000 in revenue?
Oh, then they actually lost you money.
Exactly. They lost you $3,000 net. It looked good on paper, maybe, but it hit your bottom line negatively. That's the difference between vanity metrics and actual profitability metrics.
So what are the numbers we should be demanding? The ones that are harder to, fudge?
You need metrics tied directly to profit and return on investment. Ask for specific return on ad spend, or ROAS. Ask for the precise cost per result, like cost per lead, cost per acquisition. And critically, ask about the timeline. How long did it take to get that result, and what was the total spend ad budget plus their service fees over that whole period?
And if they just talk about clicks or impressions or maybe website traffic increases?
Be wary. If they only talk about those top-of-funnel numbers or just percentage increases without the baseline, they might be trying to distract you from the financial reality. You need the full picture.
That transparency, it feels non-negotiable. Which I guess brings us to the ultimate temptation, the emotional bull. Mistake number 4, falling for those big, often guaranteed promises.
Ah, yes. The guaranteed.
What are the definitive, get out of there now kinds of promises? The obvious lies.
This is your run, don't walk away moment. Seriously, any agency that guarantees specific, high-level outcomes, especially before they've spent even a minute looking at your actual business data, they're making it up.
Like what kind of guarantees?
Things like guaranteed first-page Google ranking in 30 days.
Right.
Or we promise you a 500% ROI every time, no exceptions. It's impossible in the real world of digital marketing. Algorithms change, markets shift, competitors react.
They're selling certainty where none exists.
Exactly. They're selling you a fantasy, basically, instead of a strategic partnership grounded in reality.
So what does an honest agency promise then, if not results?
They promise process. They promise effort, expertise, data analysis, constant testing, and iteration. An honest partner says something like, okay, based on our experience and the initial data we see, we expect to see meaningful improvement within, say, 60 to 90 days. Here's our plan. We'll test these 3 different approaches. We'll measure the results directly against your key business metrics, and we'll optimize based on what the data tells us.
So they guarantee the quality of their work, their methodology, their transparency.
Yes, not some specific pie-in-the-sky outcome they actually can't control.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So let's fast forward. We've Navigated the selection, avoided the big promises, found a promising partner, the contract's signed. Now, how do we make sure the relationship doesn't just slowly fizzle out or die? Let's start with mistake 6, letting the agency hide behind confusing marketing jargon.
Oh, the jargon shield. Yeah, it's usually used for one of two reasons. Either to hide poor results or sometimes just a lack of actual effort.
How does that work?
Well, you get this, 50-page monthly report dropped in your inbox. It's filled with terms like, I don't know, optimizing for engagement velocity coefficients within our proprietary programmatic attribution modeling framework.
Slight chuckle. Okay, that sounds complicated.
It's designed to sound complicated.
Okay.
They're trying to overwhelm you, make you feel like they're doing rocket science, so you don't ask the simple, crucial question, okay, but are we making more money from this?
I often think if I can't explain what the agency is doing and why to my business partner or maybe the board in 30 seconds, then I don't even understand it.
That's a great rule of thumb. Demand clarity, plain English. Talk in terms of dollars, return, leads, sales, customer acquisition cost, things that directly impact the business. A good agency can translate the complexity.
So what does good clarity sound like?
Sounds like. Okay, we tested 3 different ad creatives this past week. Creative B generated qualified leads at a cost that was 40% lower than A and C. So we've paused A and C for now. We're shifting that budget to scale up B, and we're already working on 2 new variations based on B to test next week.
Simple, transparent, actionable, tied to the budget.
Exactly. No hiding.
And following right on the heels of clarity is communication itself. Mistake 7, poor communication structures. This seems basic, but it kills agency relationships faster than almost anything, right? Even bad results sometimes.
It really does, because it breeds uncertainty and frustration. Look, you're paying a significant retainer fee, usually. You should never have to chase your agency contact or wonder if they've, forgotten you exist.
So what specifics should people nail down right at the start?
You need to define the communication cadence and expectations up front. Think of it like a communication service level agreement, an SLA.
Okay,
Like, who is my main point of contact? No runaround. How often will I receive proactive performance updates? Is it a weekly email, a biweekly call? What's the format? And really important, what's the guaranteed response time if I have an urgent question, especially if it's about ad spend or something technical breaking?
Get it all agreed upon before starting.
Absolutely. If they're vague about how and when they'll communicate with you, chances are they'll be vague about performance and strategy too. It signals a lack of organization or maybe just not prioritizing your account.
That lack of structure often points to a short-term view, doesn't it? Which connects nicely to mistake number 9. Thinking of the agency as just executing a short-term project instead of building a real long-term partnership.
Yeah, this is a big one for sustainable growth. Real significant digital marketing success. It's built on compounding results. It takes time, it takes testing, learning, optimizing month after month, year after year.
You can't just expect a miracle transformation in a quick 3-month campaign.
Rarely happens. Honestly, one of the biggest wastes of marketing budget we see is businesses that jump between agencies every 6 months or every year.
Why is that so wasteful?
Because every single time you switch, the new agency has to start from scratch. They have to go through that initial learning curve, understanding your audience, your market, what's worked before, what hasn't. And that learning curve, it costs your time and your money. You're constantly paying for agencies to get up to speed instead of building on past progress.
So the businesses we see getting that really impressive, 5x, 10x growth over time, they're not the ones constantly shopping around.
Generally, no. They're the ones who did their homework up front, found the right strategic partner, and then committed to that relationship. They let the agency learn, adapt, optimize, allowing that knowledge and those results to compound over years, not just months. You want a partner who thinks like an extension of your internal team, someone invested in your 5-year plan, not just hitting this quarter's campaign goal.
A true partner, not just a vendor. Okay. And that leads us to the final mistake, number 10, which actually happens right at the beginning but impacts everything long term. Skipping a thorough onboarding process.
Yes. The rush to just get started.
Why is it so bad if an agency just says, great, send us your logins, we'll get campaigns live by Friday?
Because that speed means they're essentially gambling with your budget while they try to figure out the fundamentals on the job.
Gambling how?
Proper, detailed onboarding.
Yeah.
It's not just paperwork. It's absolutely non-negotiable for success. This is where the agency really learns your business. Your actual operational profit margins, crucial for setting targets. The typical length of your sales cycle is at 2 weeks or 6 months. What marketing messages have completely bombed in the past? And maybe most importantly, what are the characteristics of your most valuable, highest LTV customers? Who should they really be targeting?
And if they don't know your profit margins, they can't possibly set effective ROAS goals or even know what a good cost per lead actually is for your business.
Exactly. Rushing onboarding means they're probably just going to apply some generic playbook, treating your marketing budget like a testing ground for ideas that might have worked for someone else, but maybe not for you.
So that thorough onboarding, it's actually a sign of respect for the client's investment.
It absolutely is. It shows they're committed to understanding your specific situation before spending your money. If an agency tries to shortcut this, assume they're either lazy, disorganized, or just not truly invested in your unique success.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener? It sounds like the agencies that are actually worth your time, your trust, your money, they aren't afraid of these tough questions we've talked about.
At all. They welcome them. They expect them. They're transparent about their process. They're honest about what's realistic in terms of timelines. And they show genuine curiosity. They want to understand the depths of your business before they start proposing tactics or spending your ad budget.
And the final warning sign.
If an agency gets defensive when you ask for specifics on metrics, if they push back hard on transparency around ownership or reporting, or if they try to pressure you, sign now, we only have 2 spots left this month.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your final, definitive red flag. Trust your gut, trust the knowledge you now have, and just walk away. There are better partners out there.
We've really unpacked the difference, haven't we, between an agency selling impossible outcomes versus one that promises an honest, data-driven process backed by real strategic thinking.
Huge difference.
So now I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. We talked a lot about demanding clarity over confusing jargon. So think about this. What's one core business metric? Maybe it's your customer acquisition cost, maybe lifetime value, maybe profit margin per sale. What's a core metric you track right now that a marketing agency should never be able to obscure or manipulate with fancy reporting language? Something that cuts right to the chase.
And look, if you're tired of the agency roller coaster, tired of the overpromising and underdelivering, we get it. At Digital Time Savers, we really believe in earning trust through transparency, through results, and through genuine partnership.
We focus on collaborating strategically, making sure everything aligns with your specific business goals and economics.
So if you're ready to talk about what real sustainable growth could look like for your business without the usual agency headaches, we're here and ready to have that conversation.
Thanks for joining us on Wisdom Uploaded.